This tactics video is about the curled run, or how to curl your run. This is extremely important for strikers to learn how to do, but any player who is looking to play near the offside line needs to know this skill and be able to do it. Also, midfielders and players who are looking to pass to forwards need to understand and recognize a curled run so that they can put the ball in the right place. So this is important for every single player on the field, whether you're passing to a forward or you are a forward who are receiving the ball. So as you can see, we have part of the team set up here. We have a 5 against 4 situation. The red team is settled into a very solid back 3 with one center midfielder in front. They're defending the center of the field quite compactly, and our center midfielder has the ball here. Now, we've talked about in previous videos about how these 3 forwards should be doing some kind of movement to free themselves up, that if they're just standing here and running straight or just opening up or just waiting, then they're not giving the center midfielder any options. So we're going to add to that. We're going to be talking about a curled run. A curled run is a run that lets you do 4 things. I have those written down right here. One is that it lets you attack from a different angle. Another thing is that it lets you stay onside, which is very important if you're attacking near the offside line. It opens up the defense and it surprises defenders. And here's how it works. So there's 2 types of curled runs. The first type of curled run is what we call an outside curl run. And that is when a forward, it can be any forward, moves sideways towards the outside of the field and then curls their run back and then comes back inside. So they're moving across, staying onside, onside, onside. Then at a certain point, they curl around and they go across the offside line. And what this means is that as they're moving here, this is when they're expecting the pass to be made. So that as soon as that pass is made, they can cross the offside line and meet the pass on the other side for a through ball. So this would work with the center midfielder this way. Right now, the center midfielder really has only one choice to these forwards. They can pass into those forwards' feet. And that's okay, but even better is if the center midfielder holds the ball a little bit longer and the forward can make a curling run, and as they move outside, the left back of the other team thinks, oh, well, I should cover this space here. And actually we're tricking them. We're tricking them into covering the space in front here, which is not very dangerous space, and that's opening up a crack. And at that point, once the left back bites on that, then the forward will curl their run and go inside. So there has to be communication between the forward and the center midfielder as soon as that run happens. So the forward is running, knowing that they're going to be curling back inside, and the center midfielder is looking for that. So that curl happens, and then as soon as the center midfielder plays the ball, and this is a straight pass, vertical pass, it's not a diagonal pass, then the forward midfielder curls their run into a diagonal and meets the ball on the other side. So as you can see, inexperienced defenders will bite on that and they'll go to the outside. Now, worst comes to worst, you still have a pass here into this area, which is still quite good. This can be used not only from center midfielders to forwards, but from forwards to other forwards. So for example, let's say that the center midfielder plays into this forward here. This forward really has no options in terms of turning on the ball. They're against 3 defenders, and the other forward is really tight up close to them. The other one isn't really in any interesting space either. And so the forward needs options. That's what this forward can do, a curling run. They can be really quick, where they can drop outside, and that draws the left back in, and then curl back inside. And as they're curling in, that vertical pass can come inside. So this forward can actually dribble, take their first touch towards the other forward. This forward can back up and start a curling run, drawing the left back out, and then they can slip the ball in here, and the other forward can meet it up on the other side and be one-on-one on goal. So those are 2 examples of how an outside curling run, how an outside curl works. Basically, you're going from an interior position to an outside and back inside again. But by doing this curl, you're drawing the defense out and making a passing lane so that you can make a pass through that defense that you've just opened up. The next is what we call an inside curl. This is a curl that starts on the outside of the field and moves towards the inside. So if the situation is that we have our forwards out wide, this could be a midfielder, a side midfielder as well, or a fullback. In this case, what's most likely is that the defenders have spread out a little bit more to cover. And they might even be playing a high line as a way to stop us from making any diagonal runs. And as you can see, if our forward makes a diagonal run, it's very easy for them to get offside. So as soon as they make that diagonal run, they're offside. Well, that's where an inside curl helps. It allows us to stay onside while also getting momentum and speed and being able to attack space. So this forward here, instead of just doing a straight diagonal run, they could do an inside curl where they come inside. They can go horizontally or they can go in a little bit just to disguise. And it looks like they're kind of checking to the ball. They're dropping to receive, but then they make their run diagonal. It can also be a vertical run if they want to. So they're doing a curled run that goes inside the field. Now this does several things. First of all, as they run across, the left back, instead of closing up, the left back instead likes to come closer. And that's nice because it doesn't change the offside line because the center back hasn't moved. The left back comes closer and we're actually baiting in the left back. And that's when that run can happen. And this ball can be played through here. It can also be played over the top into this space. But the important thing is that you've gotten speed and the defense is confused because they don't know what you're doing. As you're running inside, are you running to get the ball here? And if you've practiced this with your teammates will know that no, you don't want the ball here, you want the ball somewhere out here. This can also be done from the center, even though we talk about it being from the outside of the field in, it's still the same concept that you're coming across the front of the defender. So a forward here can be on the shoulder of the center back, but they can make a curling run like this across the face of the center back and receive the ball in here. The idea being that if they go behind, then they're probably going to be offside. We've talked about how they can be on the shoulder, but sometimes that pass is not available. Sometimes you have to run across the face of the center back, and if you do that, as long as you're in front of them, then you're staying onside, and that ball can be played into this space. This is also quite good for doing an across the field pass. If a forward or a midfielder is on the far side of the field and the right back is covering them, right here, if they're staying on the outside here, it's hard to time a pass so that they can get a diagonal run in behind. So this is a nice way for them to run across, and this forward can actually run as far across as they need to, and then they can make the run. So they can curl the run in here and get the ball in this space, but they can also continue all the way across the field. They can run across the center back here. They can even run all the way here and then drop right behind this center back and receive the ball over here. So as this player is going across the field, that's when the center midfielder should see and have their head up. Say, oh, okay, I have a moving player, and they're looking to make a curled run, so I can play them in behind somewhere here. And this forward should be going along the line, looking to see when the center midfielder releases the ball, and as soon as they release the ball into that space, that's when they should jump on it and cross the offside line and meet the ball up on the other side. So this has been a video about how to do a curling run, an outside curl or an inside curl.